Girl, I know that Lori Harvey can be messy as hell, but not her clowning Damson Idris after he's recently been exposed for being a little too feminine. There are actually threads and discussions circulating with people straight up saying Damson is on the DL, and they're pointing at every little hand gesture, his mannerisms, his high-fashion, soft aesthetic, and even the way he apparently looked at Lori Harvey when they were together. Well, there are people who have always said that the relationship was giving beard, and they were only together for PR, but guess who is fueling the DL and feminine hot topic? Allegedly, his ex, Lori. Baby, is she actually out here laughing at Damson's energy with her inner circle? This is literally making everyone wonder if the whole reunion in 2026 was just a massive PR play that went south. I mean, if Lori is the one clowning Damson's mannerisms, then it proves that the chemistry was probably just for the cameras, right? Girl, I'm personally just seeing a very handsome young man. But let's just get into what the streets have been saying and you be the judge. Okay guys, there are people who have been saying that from the moment Damson and Lori seemingly first confirmed their relationship on January 13th of 2023, there was just something off about the relationship. At the time, people said that the relationship was obviously for PR, especially considering Damson had not moved on from his ex, who he had dated since he was 18 years old, for 10 years. In fact, Damson actually spilled that the door between him and his ex is not totally shut, and they still talked every single day, and even said that every other person he dates for the rest of his life will just have to deal with his ex.
Really good friends. I was with her for a very long time. I met her when I was 18 years old. Who knows, man? Who knows what could happen in the future? You know, she's very much still in my life. We talk like every single day. It's so funny, you know, people struggle to keep relationships with their exes, but I am at a place in my life now where everyone I meet, I want them to be in my life forever. Because I realized so many people are coming into my life, taking my energy, hearing my dreams, hearing my stories, and then they're gone. And now they're telling that to the world. So I want people to stay in my life so I can keep that loyalty. And I made that decision with her, you know, and I know that's a woman that I'm gonna know forever. So regardless of what happens in my love life, every relationship just has to deal with that.
Well, to a lot of people, it only made sense that Damson was with Lori because he was hired to soften Lori's image. I mean, before Damson, Lori was linked to Future, who is basically the king of toxic masculinity, and she had just come off a very public breakup with Michael B. Jordan. Rumor had it that her team wanted someone who looked safe to be with her, and who better than the one person who was giving a soft energy? The only problem was that the energy was a little too soft, feminine even. Actually, on the other hand, the relationship was also perfect for Damson because there were already allegations making rounds claiming that he was on the DL. Think about it. If a male celebrity is facing DL allegations, the best PR move has always been to pair him with a desirable woman in the industry as the ultimate distraction strategy. So, because Damson was with Lori Harvey, the public was forced to accept him as a ladies' man, regardless of what his body language said at the time. But that was not the only thing people found sus, by the way. Apparently, the way Damson behaved when he was with Lori had people questioning his masculinity because he was too feminine. There were reports claiming that he was spotted constantly adjusting his own outfit and then checking Lori's, and the internet actually clowned him for this, saying he looked like he was one of the girls getting ready for prom, rather than the man of the moment. There were also times when he was allegedly spotted carrying Lori's bag, and that to a lot of people was also pretty feminine. Other than this, people also noted that Damson tended to lean into Lori during photos, whereas the expectation is usually for the woman to lean into the man. When the man is the one leaning, tilting his head, or looking up at his partner, people tend to conclude that he is giving a lot of feminine energy. Basically, all these not only fueled the feminine energy and DL allegations, but also the assumption that the relationship was purely a contract. Anyway, Damson and Lori officially broke up in November 2023, saying they wanted to focus on their individual paths, but then, like clockwork, they started popping up together again in late 2025 and early 2026, and once again, people said that they had just renewed their contract for PR, and also to mask the DL allegations that had started making rounds again. Unfortunately, it was this reunion that fueled the speculations even further. Here's the thing. When Damson and Lori were caught in a very heavy lip lock on a balcony, some saw it as a romantic reunion, but other people were pretty much focused on the vibe and pointed out his soft mannerisms during their public appearances while they were in Paris. Things like the way he carried himself, his high-fashion Prada fits, and so forth. Guys also noted that Damson has been spending a lot of time in London and Milan for fashion weeks, and apparently, if you look at just his paparazzi walks, you will notice that he has a very rhythmic, hip-heavy stride. In addition, people also said that they noted that in his Prada and Tommy Hilfiger appearances in early 2026, he was often seen with very relaxed, almost delicate hand placements, with a lot of hand-to-chest or hand-to-face gestures when he laughed or got embarrassed. Basically, the streets have been saying that traditional alpha body language is usually about taking up space and keeping your hands still. But Damson moves with a certain fluid grace that is too feminine. Now, the other thing people have questioned when it comes to Damson is the friendship with Tyler, the Creator.
You're seemingly good friends with Tyler, the Creator. I'm wondering, is his public persona accurate as to who he actually is as a person?
Spot on. Sorry, Tyler. Spot on. Spot on. He's hilarious. You'll introduce Tyler to someone important, and then randomly he'll be like, yeah, me and Damson take bubble baths together. And you're like, whoa, no, we don't. He's just like that, man.
Like Tyler, the Creator, he's like, you know, like
bars.
Yeah.
Literally bars.
He's like, yo, man, when I first watched that show, I had no idea you was from here, bro.
See, guys have been side-eyeing that bond for a minute now. We know Tyler is known for being, let's just say, experimentally honest in his lyrics, and seeing Damson constantly in that circle has fans asking a lot of questions. Are they just bros, or is there a reason Damson seems so comfortable in spaces that scream fluidity? And you know what? The last nail on the coffin was when there were allegations that Lori broke up with Damson because he is too nice. That was like the ultimate code word for lacking that aggressive, alpha energy Lori is usually associated with. Honestly though, people can say what they want about Damson being feminine, but at the end of the day, it's 2026, and the definition of a real man is changing, and maybe Damson might just be ahead of the curve. Just because he isn't walking around acting like a stone-cold criminal from the 80s doesn't mean he's doing something wrong. If you ask me, there is actually a lot of power in a man who is secure enough to be gentle, to care about his skin, to love fashion, and to show his woman some actual affection in public. I mean, we always complain that men are too toxic or too hard, but then the moment a man shows some soft energy and vulnerability, the internet wants to clown him for it? Well, those who are defending him are saying that being in touch with your feminine side doesn't take away from your masculinity. If anything, it shows you're comfortable enough in your own skin that you don't need to put on a tough guy act just to prove a point. Plus, Damson is a classically trained actor and a high fashion model, and that world is all about expression and fluid energy. So maybe he's not soft, maybe he's just evolved, and we're the ones who need to catch up. I'm personally not concerned about the feminine energy. I'm actually more concerned about Lori being the one fueling this conversation. I mean, is she mad that Damson embarrassed her? Y'all remember when there were rumors of a breakup? Lori took to her Instagram stories from her bed, in a face mask, to tell everyone she is going to have so much fun suing people for creating false narratives. And while she was threatening to call her lawyers, the blogs were showing Damson Idris looking very friendly with 21-year-old TikToker Avari Lanai in LA. Also, despite her legal warnings, Lori's own social media fingerprints were all over the breakup evidence because fans were quick to notice she hit the unfollow button on Damson and completely scrubbed her grid of their steamy 2026 reunion photos, including that cinematic balcony kiss from Paris Fashion Week in March. So, maybe she's fueling all these allegations because the relationship didn't end on her terms. And what's the best way to hit back at a leading man who's trying to build a heartthrob brand? You attack his masculinity. Basically, by letting the "he's too nice" and "he's too feminine" rumors run wild, it completely devalues his image as a top-tier bachelor, and Lori gets to have the last laugh. But do you think she would actually stoop this low? Also, what are your thoughts on Damson being clowned for being too feminine? Drop those thoughts in the comment section below.